Hey everyone, welcome back to the Edgy. Today we're diving into a quick review and gameplay test of an HP laptop powered by a Ryzen 5625U with a 15W TDP, paired with 16GB of 3200 MHz RAM. With its integrated AMD Radeon graphics and 16 gigs of high-speed RAM, we're going to see exactly how it handles gaming. We'll be diving into 18 popular games, so stick around to see if this budget-friendly setup is right for you. Let's get started. First off, let's quickly run through the key specs. CPU: AMD Ryzen 5 5625U, packing 6 cores and 12 threads. GPU: integrated AMD Radeon Vega graphics. 16 gigs dual-channel DDR4 RAM, running at 3200 MHz. Storage: 512GB M.2 SSD. And budget Full HD panel at 60 Hz. Now, let's take a closer look at the Ryzen 5 5625U processor itself. It's part of AMD's Cezanne series built on the efficient 7nm Zen 3 architecture. With 6 cores and 12 threads, it's designed to deliver solid multitasking and impressive power efficiency. Clock speeds start at 2.3 GHz, but can boost up to a snappy 4.3 in single-core tasks, with a steady all-core boost around 3.6 GHz during heavy workloads. Despite a low base power draw of just 15 watts, it can temporarily ramp up to about 25 watts when you're pushing it in games, which we'll definitely see shortly. Moving on to graphics performance, we have AMD's integrated Radeon GPU, based on the Vega architecture. This GPU features 7 compute units, totaling 448 stream processors, which translates to 28 texture mapping units, and 8 raster operation pipelines. It can boost up to around 1800 MHz, and thanks to the laptop's dual-channel RAM, it reaches a memory bandwidth of roughly 51 GB per second. Alright, enough specs, let's see this setup in action. Before we jump into the gameplay tests, please support us by subscribing to our channel, giving this video a like, and leaving your thoughts in the comments. Your support really helps us keep creating content. Now, let's dive into the benchmarks and see exactly how the Ryzen 5 5625U and its integrated Radeon graphics perform. First up, in CPU-Z, our Ryzen 5625U delivered a respectable result, scoring 567 points in single-thread tests and 3065 points in multi-thread. While it falls a bit short compared to something like the desktop-class Intel i7-8700K, remember, this is a highly efficient low-power chip. Moving on to file compression performance with WinRAR, around 15.3 MB per second, using all 12 threads effectively. For comparison, an older Ryzen 2500U scored just 4.8 MB per second, clearly showing how much performance has improved in recent generations. Geekbench 6 delivered a single-core score of 1829 and a multi-core score of 6372. In Corona Render benchmark, our Ryzen achieved a rendering score of nearly 2.39 million rays per second. In Cinebench R23, our laptop scored 7943 points in multi-core performance. The AIDA64 cache and memory benchmark showed robust memory bandwidth, with read speeds reaching nearly 39 GB per second and write speeds at 25.5 gigs per second. Latencies were low, ensuring snappy responsiveness in daily tasks and games. For graphics, Geekbench OpenCL gave us a score of 14,045, while the Vulkan benchmark produced 13,513. AIDA64's GPU test further showcased the integrated Radeon graphics capability, with notable results in single precision floating point operations per second, hitting 1060 gigafloating point operations per second and memory copy speeds around 36,946 megabytes per second. Solid numbers for integrated graphics. And finally, let's dive straight into the gameplay tests. In Half-Life 2, at 1080p with the highest settings, the system delivered an exceptional average of 100 to 150 frames per second, ensuring a smooth and immersive gaming experience. For Crysis running at native 1080p and high settings, we observed playable frame rates between 25 and 40 FPS, with some initial stuttering. Lowering the settings further boosts the performance, resulting in smoother gameplay. At 1080p with medium settings, Grand Theft Auto 4 generally runs between 30 and 40 frames per second. But as you can see, the frame time is not stable, occasionally dipping as low as 10 FPS. Lowering the settings further should improve overall smoothness. In Mafia II, the first scene and city car rides average between 50 and 60 frames per second. While there are some initial stutters, the frame time smooths out, delivering a consistent gameplay experience.
Get up here, Saletta! Shit! I'm dead! Shit! Come on! Gesù!
Ammacciarsi, le zampare prigioniere prima che arriva l'esercito.
Corporal, this guy's saying there's more troops headed this way.
Terrific, all right. You and Williams take out that machine gun nest, then find the prisoners. We're gonna need every man we can get. Ain't getting through this one.
Had a drink together, Vito. 2 years?
Almost 3. Tony Sicelli's party, right?
Come on, Vito, come on. The last drink we had together was right after your romance funeral. Right before you shipped out. You remember.
5 minutes. We're already talking about my deadbeat father. Can we change the subject, please?
So tell me, pal, what was it like over there anyway? I kept reading the papers to see what was going on, and you know how much I hate reading.
Yeah, I know.
You guys kicked Mussolini's ass, right?
Sort of. We had a little help from a guy named Don Carlo.
No shit, Don Colo. I heard of him.
Really?
You bet. I know guys like him over here, wise guys. You work for them, you're set. You fuck with them, you die.
Nice to see you've been busy.
Yeah, and I heard you got a medal, right?
From old man Patton himself.
Whoa, so you're a real war hero, huh? And then what? You screwed a couple of Sicilian broads and came home?
Yeah, right.
The old country. Over here, you can screw anything with a heartbeat. No one gives a shit. What a country. Here's to the US of A and to having you back home.
At 1080p on high settings, Starcraft II maintains a comfortable 60 frames per second on average, with 1% lows around 50 FPS. This makes for a smooth and responsive real-time strategy experience.
This is starting to look ugly.
Commander, a large Dominion force is gathering in the center of town.
Then it's time to call in that special delivery we talked about. You can count on me. Thanks for the assist. We're with you, Raider.
Work hard, stand proud.
Sounds like a plan. Raiders roll. Sounds like a plan. Time to man up. Finally, there's the locals. Give them some pep. You can count on me. Mengsk has a lot to pay for. Thank you, Rainer.
At 1080p on medium settings, Grand Theft Auto 5 maintains an average of around 30 to 40 FPS, with 1% lows in the mid-30s. The result is a mostly smooth experience, allowing you to complete this legendary title.
Man, if you need some bread, I can hook you up with JB's tow truck. It ain't got glamour, but it's some money to be made.
So him and Tanya can smoke crack in peace? Homie, I'm good. Hey, dog, we be doing Simeon a disservice if we ain't test these rides out.
He ain't even gonna know if they good if we don't push him to the brink. You feel me? Damn, dog, how much we getting for these repos? I'm gonna be one reluctant motherfucker giving this up.
Man, there's enough bad credit going around, homie. It's like it's an endless supply in this fucked up ass country.
Right.
Okay.
Up here, through the studio. Let's show these movie people how we do.
Oh, we filming shit here, huh?
Hey, down this alley here.
Shit, cool, homie.
Keep busting, Lord.
Hey, screw you too, homie. My car, asshole.
Left here.
The Witcher 3. At 720p on low settings, it averages around 35 frames per second. While it's playable, the image quality is notably too low to fully enjoy the game. Civilization 6. At 1080p on medium settings, the game runs at frame rates ranging from 60 to 95 FPS with occasional dips to 60. Overall, it provides a comfortable and enjoyable gameplay experience for this fantastic strategy title.
Just as our citizens have faith.
Who deserves more credit than the wife of a coal miner?
Factorio. At 1080p the frame rate is locked at 60 frames per second and the gameplay feels stable and smooth, making for a pleasant experience in this nice game. Fortnite. At 1080p on low settings, we see around locked 60 frames per second, but combat sequences can introduce occasional stutters. At 720p with the frame rate lock disabled, Fortnite averages around 80 to 90 frames per second. While there are still occasional stutters, they are noticeably less distracting overall. PUBG. At 720p on low settings, the game runs at around 30 frames per second without major dips. It's fine for getting to know the game, but in my opinion, that frame rate isn't enough for an online shooter. Forza Horizon 4 on lowest settings at 1080p delivers around 40 frames per second, with dips not dropping below 30 FPS. Overcooked 2 at 1080p shows excellent performance, often exceeding 160 frames per second. Red Dead Redemption 2 at 720p on low settings averages around 35 frames per second, with occasional dips just below 30. Metro Exodus in the opening tunnel scene maintains around 40 to 50 frames per second with drops to 20.
Gates!
Orcs Must Die 3 at 720p on high settings holds a stable 30 frames per second without major drops. Reducing the quality settings could improve the frame rate further. Valorant surprises with its optimization. At 1080p on low settings, it consistently runs above 120 frames per second, with dips not falling below 70.
Dominating. Counter-Strike 2 at 720p on low settings averages around 60 FPS, but the constant stutters make it uncomfortable for such a fast-paced shooter. From our tests, the Ryzen 5 5625U with integrated graphics genuinely surprised me. It easily crushes older games at 1080p, delivering smooth gameplay even on higher settings. Of course, in demanding modern games you'll have to sacrifice some visual quality or drop resolution to 720p, but it's still completely playable. Overall, if you're looking for a budget-friendly laptop that covers daily tasks and casual gaming without hassle, this chip nails it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow and create more content like this. See you in the next videos.